that there's a chance for you to do a hat is long. I would recommend you start by having a hat. I don't know if the people are, how many, I hope some people are going to make a hat along with me today, but I think I'm going to do a little breeze through first. And that is, I think on the promo they showed, this was the second hat I made. And it works great because it's got a real stiff brim. And it's very, it's got a positive message on one side, what we don't want. And then we've got the yes, the positive, this is what we want, and this is what we don't want. Fine. So I figured out that's too elaborate, unless you're interested in attracting people nearby who want to say, what does that hat say? And then they come up and they look, and then you can have a nice dialogue with them. So there is value to this hat. But there's also a value in having something that is just like easy to read in case you're marching down and the cameras are rolling and you want to have a sign that people can see. So I'm going to start with something like that. And what you need, and if you don't have paper, I bet everybody's got old file folders, right? The first hat I made, I did quickly on the way to the march. I made one for myself, and then the next week I made one for my friend over there. So if you've got file folders and you cut them in half, okay, just cut it right up there, you're going to have two pieces of paper that wrap rather nicely around most sizes of, say, a garden hat, or even a cap with a visor like this. So I recommend doing this first. And so if you're doing it with me, go ahead and get your paper. And I don't know, it'd be nice if I could hear people if they have paper already. How many people have paper already? Anybody? Okay, I guess there's no way for me to tell about that, so I'm just going to
One,
zoom
one
on.
thing, Victoria, I just put it in the chat box.
Oh, good.
If we're all on mute, which is awesome because we are recording.
Yeah,
But if you have questions, feel free to take yourself off mute to participate.
okay, great, if you want to say something. So this is a real easy thing that you probably have in your house. I would say, this is packing tape. So just get yourself first, get one side really nice and constructed, and you can just tape from the inside. Hope you can see me. Okay. So now you've got a nice long piece to work with, and wrap it around. And if you want to make it look nicer, what you can do is make a little line on the inside so you know where to tape it. And you go around this way. Okay. And every hat's a little different, so if you can set it on your hat and make sure it's a nice tight fit, like this. Now it's going to be a little bit less than a pure stovepipe straight up and down, which is fine. So this is your basic working unit here. And there are a lot of different ways with this hat. In order to finally fix it for going out on the street, I got a nice long hat pin and stuck it into the band carefully so it wasn't going to, puncture my head. That works really well. And finding hat pins or long pins like that is, if you're a sewer, it's not a problem. Otherwise, it might be. But you could use a safety pin, or you can actually even sew it on your hat. So there we have, this is what we have now. And what I am now going to do, instead of a round hat, is I made up two things that I like, that I believe in, okay? Due process is law. Okay, that to me, I love that message. And also, no kings, 86 resist. So this is a way to get people coming and going. Now, Linda and I had a little chat about lettering. I mean, you can, if you love crafts, you like spending time doing lettering, I do. But Another thing you can do is, and Linda's going to give you a link, I think, after this, you can get graphics with memes and slogans that you like. And what you do is once you have this going on, you can print them off, just a 8 by 11. We can just, I don't know, I didn't measure that. Let me see what an 8 by 11 piece of paper would be. Okay, that's pretty close, 8 by 9. So it would be at least as big as one of these pieces of paper. But in order for people to see you coming and going, what you can do is, with a little rubber cement, give yourself a two-way hat. I'm going to rubber cement these and show you that it does actually work. I have to get my camera. I'm going to have to get down on my knees on the floor for you to see this. So I'm going to do the rubber cementing thing on right now. So that this is just an idea I had yesterday that I like better than my round hat. So where's my rubber cement? I'm going to have to go get it. You may have to want to run and get supplies too. So if you wanted to get paper, 8 by 10 or whatever, do it. And I'm going to grab my rubber cement.
I have a question, Victoria.
Sure.
What size is your paper that you're using for the lettering?
This is so cool that I found out. Now this paper that I found cheap at Michael's, under $2, $1. This is a standard poster board piece of paper. It's 22 inches by 28. And guess what? You fold it in half like this, and it's exactly the right size to do a hat like this. It's so simple, not a lot of cutting. This thing I have here as well. It's just half of a normal poster board that you can get very inexpensively. I'm sure there are other places than Michael's, but Michael's was a pretty good deal, I thought. So,
We have dollar stores that have incredible supplies very reasonably.
so let me give you the dimensions. I think they might be just standard, but this poster board is 22 inches by 28 inches. So you can make a note of that and try to find something, because it leaves you with a lot less cutting to do if things wind up to be a size that they're usable. And you don't want a super heavy piece of poster board. You kind of want a lighter one, because you're going to kind of be layering things. So I'm going to do the rubber cement thing here, and it'll take a minute for it to dry. And also, although I love that conical hat, the first hat I made was a women's march a long time ago, and you can fix it in time because my slogan said New Green Deal. So you can, that was a few years ago. And it was one green hat that said New Green Deal on it. And it was a big round one, but the message is there's so much we care about and so many issues, and people have so many interesting things to say that you do kind of want to have a little more room for your message. If you don't do a lot of rubber cementing, then what you do is you get a good even coating on your poster board on both sides, and you let it dry a little bit before you try to press it together. Okay, now let it dry. Yeah, stencils are a good way to do your lettering. Depends on how much time you want to give yourself to make your hat. I think the rough hand-lettered ones, to me, they have sincerity and genuineness behind them. And even, I like those better than the ones that are like real slick looking. Besides, they can say that that somebody, paid you to demonstrate if you have a hat that looks prefab. So just, making your own hat is kind of a cool thing to do. All right, I'm going to just wipe this. I have extra board, so I'm gonna wipe this to make sure it's even. Make sure it's kind of semi-dry because it'll stick better that way. And, okay. Now, I have not totally decided that this is going to be the hat that I'm going to use, but I think it will work. And I have my fortifier on here, my little cone. I'm going to stand up here. Starting at the outside edge, so it'll be more or less even. Press it together on this side, and press it together.
It gets upside down.
Oh, is it upside down? Thanks! Good, it's hard. All right, there we go. Wonderful. Okay, so there's my hat. You can't see it, I'll have to tilt this up. It's quite a big one. It's a nice big sign. It could get caught in the wind. So that's why I tend to want to do, pins or something to get it. I need to tilt this up, I think, because the hat's a little larger than I thought it was going to be. Okay. All right. So that's one version of a hat. I'm fast, huh? We got this whole thing done in 20 minutes. There we go. So I want to take questions or ideas. Is anybody out there making a hat and do they want to show it to us yet?
So I tried, but my lettering needs more work. You did, you
Not too
did
late.
speed up the process by having your lettering done. I have a question. Can
Yeah.
you show, and I don't want to take away from someone else if you have one, so please interject, but could you show us very simply with just even a few words how you do your lettering so we can see how you do it because your lettering is beautiful?
Well, okay. Let's do that. I hope I can get the camera down far enough is the problem. Yeah, let's go like that. All right, so I do
Your lettering's good. You can never go
Freehand.
Yeah.
let's do a here's a poster board. This is going to be my second sign, okay? And you got to
I
have a
think she does.
pencil and you got to have a ruler
Hmm.
or just another piece of poster board. Where's my pencil? This is what I go through. Within 2 square feet, I can lose things in no time at all. Let me get my pencil. I've got a bunch of them over here. Okay. Usually, it really depends on what you're going to say. So this one here, this sign, I drew a line for the top line. My big letters, I did 3 lines. First of all, you figure out where the middle of the page is. If you're going to do your own lettering. Figure out the number of letters and how many units or how many boxes you're going to have across. So I can do this one again. I could give this hat away, or maybe somebody will want it one day. let's do without due process. So due process. So we know this is 22, right? Okay, when you fold it, it's 14 by 22. So 7 inches is the middle of the page. So we'll make a dot on one side and a dot on the other for 7. And the big featured word on this one right here is, you know, due process is law. So we got 3 featured words, so we kind of want to find out 14. So we just do 2 inches at the top for without, and then we want to have your other things be about at least 4 inches high. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can leave yourself, you can make a line margin at the bottom because the bottom is going to be close to the bottom of the hat. So I would say make a line 2 inches at the top of the page and 2 inches at the top, or 1 inch, to give yourself a margin. And then you have your small letters, which will go here. So you want to divide it in half. How many letters? We got 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's good. So we got 12 big blocks or letters we want to put in through there. I usually do this more by eye than this, but there is a certain amount of thought that goes into it. So halfway through 22 is 11. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's so cool. All right, so 6 and 6. All right, so I'm going to draw another line. So my big line is due process. And then comes in there. And the bottom is law, L-A-W. Okay. So I know really the hardest one is due process, because we only got 2 letters with is and 3 with law. So D-U-E space P-R-O-C-E-S-S. I just pretty much kind of do it by hand and eye. And maybe it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be so perfect. Can you see the paper at all? Could you see better maybe? Maybe that's better. All right, so due process, D, U, E, P, R, O, C, E, S, S. Amazing. There was enough room for that. And you use light pencil work, because you can always erase it afterwards, because you're going to use big magic markers, P-R-O-C-E-S-S. So due process is the headline, and without will be up on this little top line here, so we can do that later. Then right in the center, and that's the center mark, is, so we're going to do I on one side and S on the other, is. And then law should be super simple. So the middle of the A goes right in the middle of the page. So A, L, W. All right, so I'm going to get very brave here and just start marking it in, as if I were just running to the demonstration and didn't have time to really do a perfect job. But I want my message to get out. Due process. So the S's are a little squished, but that does happen. So there's the due process. And I'm going to do law next. And the is goes in here. Now, fattening it up is half the fun, really. that's just using a really thick magic marker, and you just double what you've put down there. Hope you're having fun. I am. All right, due process is law. I really think this kind of activity is very healthy for your brain. It's some small creative thing that you can do that will have an effect. It will encourage others. It will get out the principles and things that you believe in, which is hard to do these days, and always better to do in person. Okay, so it's coming together now. It's not cute yet, but it's legible. So I would just fatten this up and then choose one other color to make it kind of pop out a little, just a little liner. Oh no, I can tell you a trick about that too. I'm going to go over this printing one more time here to make it fatter and more solid. I should maybe be doing this upside down. I could. It doesn't hardly, the angle isn't even good enough so that would help you, but I can do it. Interesting idea. That should actually help with symmetricalness of things. All right. Okay, now this secret some little method I've used for highlighting things is it's almost like it's a shadow. So I would start out here on the far side of the D, and I'd make a big bold red mark there. It's like a red shadow. And then I'm going to be doing it kind of like in here. And then pick the same side. So I would do, actually I'm going to do it on this side of both of this one. I'm not totally consistent, but this is kind of a faded one. I'm going to get a better. Let's see. So let's shade the inside there and the bottoms of this. Just for starters, we might decide to do more of this later, but it adds a little bit of a pop. Okay. I need to find a thicker red thing, but whatever. Kind of a mess. You'll find this will be just as effective as if you were to try to outline all of those letters. It kind of gives it almost like a dimension. Okay, process. The S is, how did I do that S? Okay, so the S, let's say we go here and here. Oh, I made a smudge. All right, and is law. Oh, that's pink. Now there's room on this one for us to do a crown with an X through it, which would be pretty good because that gives you a little, that gives you the no kings on both sides. I really love no kings. That's a great slogan. Okay. Put this down. Oh, my reds are running out. There we go. Okay, so here we are that far. Hope you're making progress as well with whatever slogan you've figured out you want to do. And we can try putting this on a different hat. All right, so as far as the no kings thing is pretty simple to draw. It's a, let's do it with pencil first, even how, no matter how simple it is. So we can put one on either side. A little bit of, here we got a flat thing and 3 points. Okay. And you put one on this side too. Can you see the pencil mark? Anyway, it's right here. Dee-dee, and one right there. Where's the black? There we go. Okay, there's the crowns. And then we need to cross them out in red, I think. Okay. I like putting arrows, like as if somebody threw an arrow through it. Thicken that up a little bit. Oh, I can see I need to refuel my red markers. Yeah, that red crossing out of the crown has to be really bold, and I'm going to have to find a better red marker. this be one? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this poster board. I folded it, so it's already got a nice line. I didn't cut it before I started, but I can do it now. This is the beauty of not getting too heavy a poster board. Now, I don't have my other subheadings without due process. There is no law. I might do that later. But I think because we're getting, we've got time, but I wanted to do something with this hat. Got to rest from this guy here. I want to see if I can make it be more bilateral and therefore more visible. Yeah, I think I like that. I spent so much time on this lettering, I don't want to not use it again. So I think all I have to do is probably either rubber cement or staple it open like this. I think I'll staple it because I think you can see it much better that way. Maybe even right all the way across the top. Yeah, okay. Good, yes, I'll work with that later, but I think this is more effective, and actually the hat that Linda wanted to show us at the end of a friend is like this. It's just got one sign on a visor. It's not one that gets you coming and going. It's only a hat that shows from the front, which is fine. But there are people behind us as well as in front of us on these occasions. I'm just going to get a stapler. I hate to get a stapler. I'm going to use rubber cement. But I'm going to do that later. But it's already looking better. I think you can see it. You can see the message better than you could before. So the Mad Hatter type hat is okay. But I don't know if you agree with me with this, to me. And let's see, I can maybe put it on this pink hat. That will also work. Let's see. Yeah. Can't make up boy. Did I lose? Let me see, what do I have to do here? There we go. Okay, now I'm thinking I could round these corners. Let's do something interesting with this. We don't have to have all of this out here like this, so I'm going to take my scissors. Oh no, I can't do that because so I'm going to put some no kings. So I got to keep my corners because I've got no kings on this side. So I'm going to add to this, and I'm going to put some crowns and cross marks up there too. So, might as well do that. So you can see I sort of don't do things in sequence. I'm sure I'll hear about this later from Linda.